Alright, hey besties. Today we're diving deep into the chaotic world of JUSTNOMIL because, let's be real, drama is our love language. We're gonna unpack a post titled, "Mile acting out ever since So moved out." And buckle up because it sounds like this mama is not happy her little boy flew the coop. For context, this will be pretty long. When me and my So, 30M, started dating, he was living with his mother as he's her only child, and she has no partner. So I guess you can say a mama's boy. She was nice in the beginning, we weren't the closest, but things were good between us, so I thought. Me and So found out we were expecting last summer, and she was ecstatic as I would have expected her to be, because she doesn't have any much family in the state that we live in, and this is something exciting to look forward to. While me and So are making a game plan for apartment hunting and getting ourselves together for this new chapter in our life, I'm staying over more frequently at their house, so I can bond with So and just have that sense of warmth and security next to him. Because I am staying over their house more frequently, I am a little farther from my job, but it's no problem to me. His mother would always offer to take me, but I would politely decline because she had a habit of wanting to drive him everywhere. On his days off, she would insist on driving us to dates, appointments, because her 30-year-old child is tired. I expressed how this made me uncomfortable to him, and it stopped because I don't want to depend on her. One day, I finally accepted the ride, and it was probably one of the first time we got alone time. As she's driving, she confessed to me that she didn't like me, that she thought I was a whore, and that she hopes I don't take it personal, but she's just a blunt person, and she's never felt like any of the women he's been with are up to her standards or what she wants for him. Then she followed that up asking me if I actually love her son. This made me extremely uncomfortable because it felt like she was trying to get me alone with all the rides she was offering me to tell me that. This left a very bad taste in my mouth because she was acting so sweet, so generous, and I couldn't see through that. Makes me think, what else does she truly think? And are her actions of kindness genuine? Anyways, fast forward, I'm 9 months pregnant now, and she's been giving me so much ancient, unsolicited advice that I kind of just take and sweep under the rug because it's not worth the back and forth, and once baby is here, I will have no problem putting my foot down. Me and So finally found an apartment, and we are so happy, over the moon. This is the first time we move out with someone else for the both of us. Mill seemed happy and had texted me how happy she was that we have a space for the baby now. As our move-in date approaches, So confessed to me that Mill cried, which I understand it's normal for parents, but then he tells me that a few days after she came into his room in the middle of the night having a full-blown anxiety attack and crying profusely. Okay, weird. I just brushed it off. When we finally moved in, she bought us some stuff for the apartment to start us off, which I thanked her for OFC, but then it started to become too much. She would buy apartment decor without asking me what would be my preference or anything like that, whatever was her style instead. I communicated this with So that although I appreciate it, I would like to do that myself as it is my first apartment too, and I feel like she's robbing me of that. My So never hesitates to stand up for me, and I'm sure he spoke to her about it because it kind of stopped. Besides the apartment, she also did that with baby. She bought a whole bunch of nursery decor that just wasn't my taste at all. Comforters, quilts, crib bumpers, after I specifically told her not to because those are things from the past and they aren't good for safe sleeping, but what do I know, she had a baby 30 years ago. Aside from overbuying things for the baby, anything my So and I wanted to get for the apartment, bed, glider, table, she would not let him buy it at all because she wanted to. I wasn't under the impression that it was that many household items, just a few for context. So we are finally settled in our apartment, and OFC, since she's so attached to her son, we don't have her over often because he works most of the time, and I don't want to spend one-on-one time with her. Maybe 4 of the visits from late February till now have been a nightmare for me. First visit, So was fixing something around the house while I was sleeping, and she had came to drop something off and lounge for a while. While I'm asleep, and So is busy, she reorganized our living room to what she felt like looked better, when me and So already agreed on what layout looks better for us. I told her thank you for trying to be helpful, but the layout we had was what worked best for us, and she kept insisting to the point where I told her to speak to her son about it instead, because he'll shut it down. Her second visit, we told her to show up at 10, and she shows up at 7:30. This is a problem because we aren't awake and she didn't give us any time to get situated or for us to take out our dogs. Her excuse is that she brought us breakfast. I spoke to So about this, and he told her to not show up earlier than expected, but she doesn't take him seriously and just laughed about it. She showed up the next day an hour earlier again and just giggled about it, saying that's just how she is. An early bird. I finally was fed up and told him that he has to stand up to her about our boundaries, and since she doesn't understand with words, she'll have to understand with actions, as in no more invitations to our home. I also took the opportunity to remind him that he is to let his mother know that she won't be in the delivery room, as I'm only allowed 2 ppl, which is So, and my mom. We established this very early into our pregnancy, so him waiting this long to tell her is not my problem. A few days pass and he tells me he spoke to her, didn't give me any details, but I did notice that she stopped texting me. I felt bad not because of my decision, but because she has done a lot for us and I know they were close, so I suggested maybe she could come over and we can watch a movie to spend time with her, given that he won't have much time to dedicate to her once the baby is here. Fast forward, the day gets here. Everything is going surprisingly well until an hour into the movie, she starts to give me unsolicited advice about my dogs, to which I politely declined, and she kept insisting so much. My So tried to intervene in the situation to get her to let it go, but she wouldn't. This was just adding stress to me, and So did talk to her firmly, and she did not like it. She stood quiet for 5 minutes and blacked out about how he treats her, and that it isn't right, and to watch the way he speaks to her, etc. You can hear the anger in her voice to the point she starts screaming. She then proceeds to say she's not going to put up with this BS and gets her stuff together to leave, and before she does, she makes it a point to point out how everything in the apart is because of her, and that everything we have is because of her, including the glider. I was sitting on that. I had no idea she purchased. It left a really bad taste in my mouth that she would hold that over our heads and call us ungrateful. This also isn't the first time she does this. We didn't let her in the apartment one time because we were still getting dressed and she showed up earlier than usual, and she turned it into a full-blown argument that we're not letting her in the apartment, that So has been distant ever since he moved, and that we're just using her. My mom thinks that her last blowout about all the things she does for us wasn't entirely about the situation at the moment, but could have been her expecting to be in the delivery room because of all she's done for us. What do you guys think, and how should I go about this? Okay. Buckle up, buttercups, because this Reddit post is a ride. Let's dive in, shall we? So, this woman's dating a dude who's basically attached to his mom's apron strings. They're expecting, which is usually a joyous time. But Emile is giving a very Grey Gardens vibe right off the bat. Girl, that car ride confession where Emile basically calls her a tramp? What? That's some manipulative, passive-aggressive bull right there. I feel for her, trying to navigate this minefield while preggers. Then the move-in happens, and Emile goes full-on home makeover mode, buying everything without asking. Seriously, lady, back off. Let the woman decorate her own dang apartment. And the baby stuff? The crib bumpers? In this day and age? Honey, no. This Emile is stuck in the 1950s. Bless her heart. The unsolicited advice, the early morning pop-ins boundaries? Never heard of, Then the meltdown, screaming about how they are ungrateful and how she bought everything in the apartment. That's just next-level emotional blackmail. I kind of agree with her mom about the delivery room thing. It sounds like Emile thought all her generosity entitled her to a front-row seat. Honestly, this Emile sounds like a character straight out of a sitcom. Okay, how to handle this? First, OP. You are a rock star for setting those boundaries. But your So needs to be the enforcer here. He needs to have a serious talk with his mom, laying down the law. No more surprise visits, no more unsolicited advice, no more guilt trips. It's tough, because this woman clearly has issues and probably feels like she's losing her son. But OP's happiness and sanity, and that of her new baby, come first. Maybe some family counseling down the line could help, but for now, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And OP, congratulations on the baby and the new apartment. Let's jump into the comments section and see the reactions. I am trying to understand why you would even try to have a relationship with someone who calls you a whore and tells you she doesn't like you. Boundaries are just suggestions unless there are clear consequences to the behavior. When she shows up at whatever time she wants, you don't let her in. When she buys something for the house or the baby, don't accept it, donate it. Also, I'm sorry, but your so is not doing a very good job at protecting you. If he was one, his mother would not be allowed in the house too. He would not have waited so long to set boundaries with the birth of your child. You both also need to decide together what your boundaries are going to be when the baby comes, because she is going to stomp all over them. He then needs to text them to his mother, so she cannot say she was not made aware, and if she boundary stomps, you need to make it clear what the consequences are. Have So start giving her back all the stuff she's bought you. He needs to tell her that if he knew that the things she gifted had strings attached, that she expected things in return, neither of you would never have accepted them, and that you will not accept anything else going forward. Give her shit back. It is absolutely not worth it for the bullshit you'll have to deal with if you keep it. I'm kinda shocked you still have so much contact with a woman that blatantly told you she doesn't like you and called you a whore. She showed you how two-faced and fake she is, and you continued on as normal. This is bizarre. You don't call someone a whore and even be considered the extreme privilege of attending their birth. This woman needs serious boundaries and distance. She needs to learn to live without the umbilical cord still attached to her son. She needs to learn that no means no, and if she's gonna argue every little thing, then there's the door. She could spend millions and nothing will ever compare to genuine kindness, respect, common human decency. Behaving like a lunatic doesn't give you a warm welcome or inclusion. That's one point you guys have dropped the ball. She behaves this way and continues to receive invites. Screaming at you should warrant a timeout in visits. So, it's actually not normal for her to be sobbing and having a panic attack because her 30-year-old son is moving out. The vast majority of parents would know that it's well past time, and most children do not remain at home that long. Like someone else already said, she bought you all those things to manipulate you. The good news is your so has been somewhat willing to set boundaries. You're going to have to keep it up, without guilt. She knows you are a nice person and counts on you feeling bad and inviting her over. Stop. Protect your peace. This woman called you a whore, and if it were me, I wouldn't text her at all, and that would be completely my husband's duty until she apologized for the way she spoke to and about me. You don't want an unstable person who cries and screams about boundaries around your baby. Protect your postpartum period by minimizing visits and keeping her away from the hospital. Congratulations, and I hope everything goes well. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more stories and reactions.